would say currently, yes, that seems to be the case, especially on this panel. I don't think BOK women use history when BOK men dated out. They were just more vocal to just calling them out just for dating YT women in general.
Wow. Thank you for chiming in. Baker Bean, I'm still waiting for you to come. Baker Bean, I'm going to need you to tap the screen, share the live out, or comment. Because you've been here since the beginning, and I requested you up, and you didn't come up. So, you guys, if you're not contributing to the live, sometimes I block people. If you've been here, because I feel like if you've been here more than 15 minutes, you must like something about it so you can support the platform. So, yeah, ma'am, nothing personal, but I might have to block you because I don't see you tapping or coming up. So let's either tap, let's request up, or at least comment in the comment section. Contribute in some way, shape, or form. We're almost to 100K. We got to 100K. All right, Greg, you can respond. Also, we're streaming on YouTube. If some people can go over there and also put your comments there on YouTube. Let me know that you hear it clearly. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that Brown, the Board of Education, challenged the premise that you could have separate but equal, and it be constitutional within inside the.
You didn't say that. You didn't say that.
Well, we gotta let him finish.
That business. He did not say that.
Wait, Kennedy, come on. You gotta let him finish and then rebuttal him. Go ahead, Greg. I know he's sneaky though, Kennedy. I know he's sneaky. Go ahead.
So yeah, the purpose, and so Loving v. Virginia stood on that ground. In fact, had Loving v. Virginia failed, it would have undermined Brown v. Board of Education because it would have made for a room where states could discriminate on the basis of race and it somehow be constitutional. So Loving, by pitting itself to Brown Board of Education, and it did, regardless of your thoughts on it, it created a political scenario where had it failed, Brown would have failed. Our civil rights would have failed.
Okay, let's let Kennedy respond.
So let me get this understanding because I really want to get this clear, right? You're saying that Loving would have failed, Brown v. Education would have failed if Loving was not, upheld?
You should really try to pay attention because Brown v. Board of Education is for Loving.
Sir, I said that. Sir, because you got a 5-minute edge up when Poetic got the likes up and you got to go Google, doesn't mean that you know anything. Because first of all, you didn't know about Plessy versus Ferguson, and that was a pre-way for why Brown v. Education was even case law to begin with. Okay? So that one, you're not going to come up on one upon me on that one. Secondly, Loving versus Virginia had nothing to do with Brown v. Education. And I'm going to just hand off to Wise Mama after that because...
Wait, no. You guys, I need everyone to stand on business. No, listen. Hold on, Greg, you can mute. We got to stand on business. You guys are having a back and forth. So we're going to have to stand on business because this is an intellectual debate. Okay? We have a traffic lawyer and we have a very successful, intelligent BOK man that protects BOK women and is a strong husband and father. And I want to hear this. And plus, you guys both Jamaican. Greg, go ahead and respond to Kennedy.
All right. Well, it's obvious that he is not a lawyer because every law school across the entire country, this is mandatory. This is something all lawyers know. We all know about Brown v. Board of Education. We also know about the cases that preceded. We also all know about Loving v. Virginia, right? And it's very clear in almost every legal textbook that the two are linked, and that had Loving v. Virginia failed, it would undermine Brown.
Okay.
Sir, that is speculation law. Okay, that is speculation law. Okay, this is one of those the chicken comes before the egg kind of conversation going on. Okay, what we do know in case law is that we had Plessy Ferguson, that was case law, case studied, ruled by the Supreme Court, separate but equal was the law of the land. And then what happened is that what happens is that between the 1800s and the 1900s, 1950 to be clear, not even 100 years ago, okay? Then they revisited this law because guess what happened? It was challenged and says, you know what? Yeah, you're saying separate but equal. We're technically not equal. Loving versus Virginia had nothing to do with equality. They were not denying marriages because they didn't think the white T man is unequal to the BLK woman or the BLK man. They were denying it because they said it was outlaw. Two different races could not marry each other. Two different things, sir. Access to each other. That means that if you are caught, in fact, I would say, and I would argue that Loving versus Virginia is equal to the sodomy laws that you see in most states nowadays. It's an access to a person. And when that access is violated by law, you don't have that access to the person you love. So let's stop the foolishness. Brown v. Education and Plessy versus Ferguson has nothing to do with Loving v. Virginia. And you're an attorney? You are malpracticing.
Yeah, because you feel strongly about a thing don't make you right. You're still dead wrong. The issue with that was underlying in Loving v. Virginia was the challenge to whether or not state mandated segregation laws violate equal protection, right? Which Brown v. Board of Education proved that it does. So if Loving v. Virginia were to fail on the same argument, it would undermine Brown v. Board of Education. Very simple.
Okay, wife mom, what do you think about the exchange between Kennedy and Gray?
As much as I love Kennedy, and I do love Kennedy, Greg is right. The tie that binds all of these cases, the four I brought up, Loving versus Virginia, Plessy versus Ferguson, and Brown versus Board of Education, is the 14th Amendment and the Equal Protection Clause that's in it. And if Loving versus Virginia was denied, it very well could have reversed Brown versus Board of Education. Somebody would have picked up that case and tried to take it back to the Supreme Court based on the outcome of that case should it have been denied. It's the truth.
But they ruled no.
Wait. Let's let wife mom finish. Wife mom, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Let's go to Jay. What do you think about the exchange between Greg and Kennedy?
Along with wife mom, I do love my brother, but Greg was correct. The whole point is that Loving versus Virginia was saying that interracial marriages were approved to happen. Prior to that, they were not. So the Board of Education one was saying the exact same thing, that separate but equal is not constitutionally correct. So if the Board of Education, or if the Plessy, oh my goodness, if the Loving one was denied, then the board one could also be overturned because it's based off of racial identity.
Okay, thank you for chiming in. Big Zaddy, what do you think about the exchange between Kennedy and Greg?
Just like wife, mom, Kennedy, I like you, but I have to agree. Greg is right on that one. I don't really have much detail.
Oh, why is everybody agreeing with Greg? I'm sorry. I have to chime in. And it's just because he gets on my nerves, right? He knows that. He comes here just to troll me. and now he wants to think he's looking all good with his tie, and he think he's winning over Kennedy, and they're both Jamaican. I just don't like it. Greg, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Porty, can I go in for a second before he goes in? Because
I want to hear what he has to say. Kenny, hold on. Greg, what do you have to say for yourself?
I heard your little intro there. Is that you professing your love for me?
You know what, Kennedy, go ahead. Finish him.
So this is a case here, okay? What everyone has said is that would have. That's not how the Supreme Court ruled. There are a lot of people who speculate how the Supreme Court would have ruled and does not rule. We're going on face value on the case law, okay? And the case law is that Lovin was not a case law for Brown v. Education. It was not, okay? In fact, Brown v. Education is tied explicitly to Plessy Ferguson, okay? And that's the case law. That was a rule of the land by the Supreme Court, not state law, like you said, Greg. And I listened to what you said, but what you said is state law up until the 1950s. No, that was the rule of the land by the Supreme Court. So that superseded state law, okay? Now, when Plessy and Ferguson come, I'm not saying what gave the premise. There's a lot of case laws that are brought out of other Supreme Court ruling. But when it goes back to the Supreme Court, they rule otherwise. Plessy versus Ferguson was access to a woman and access to two individuals and their privacy of their interaction. In fact, Lovin, Virginia was more of a privacy law more than Brown v. Education. That's a public law. Education is a public display. You go to school, you go in. Plessy, Lovin, Virginia had to do with what you do in your private home and how you could be arrested irrespective of where you were, not just in public. Someone could say that you have an interracial marriage inside your house. The police come just like immigration or ICE and knock on your door and see a BLK woman and a YT man or vice versa and arrest the BLK person. So Plessy was about privacy. Not Plessy, sorry. Lovin was about privacy. Plessy Ferguson was about access to services and institutional things that we have federally within our country.
All right, you guys. If everyone can tap the screen, let's get the likes up. I am about to end this stream. I might stream late tonight. Don't have to go to work in the morning, so I might stream late tonight, like maybe an hour. Or I'll just pick up in the morning. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following me on YouTube and TikTok and subscribe to both. And I appreciate all my panelists, all my guests. If you guys can drop now and have a lovely night and come back if I go live. But for now, if you can definitely check out the videos on YouTube, make sure you comment, share, like the videos on YouTube. You could go back and watch these videos. Greg, you can drop. You could go back and watch these videos. So again, help me get to 200 subscribers before the end of the week. Today's Thursday, so definitely share out the YouTubes and go back and watch it. Thank you guys. And all mods, if all mods can check in, I want to do a mod meeting really quick, a quick check-in mod meeting. If all mods can check in on the inbox. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.